morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I am ItsKim. If you've never been here before, hi, I'm ItsKim. This is ItsKim Live, where we talk about stuff in pop culture that I care about. Usually it has something to do with psychology or mental health or whatever. I love Britney Spears, so she pops up here quite often. But we talk about lots of different things, and here's the way the show normally goes. First, we talk about pop culture topics. Then we kind of have a halftime where we discuss as a community, my beautiful community of space angels, many of whom are already here. Hello to everyone who is here. And then after that, we look at something from around the internet that is crazy, wild, interesting, different, something we all react to together and have a really great time doing. So, regardless what we're talking about, there's something here for you. And if you're watching on the replay, there are timestamps in the comment below, pinned comment below, so you can jump around to wherever you want to go and enjoy the show the way that you so choose. I am so happy to be here. I apologize for my lateness. I started about 10 minutes late than I meant to. And in the spirit of transparency, I'm just going to let you guys know I've talked many times about the fact that I have issues sometimes with my eyes. I am having one of those today. So, producer sister, who is in the background with me today, if you could say hello, producer sister.
Hi.
Will be helping me today with reading potentially if my eye is not cooperating. So I do apologize if I'm blinking weird or I'm touching things or whatever. That is what's going on. And I'm going to be fine. It's just annoying and we're going to deal with it. So I am excited because we've got a lot to go over and I have a lot of people to thank, it looks like, because you guys have been busy for the past half hour or so, my space angels, my goodness. So I am going to go ahead and just pull up everything here. I also have to start right off the bat and say thank you so much to General Scott as well as Vicky for your PayPals that you sent me. I so appreciate that. That goes into a fund that helps with a lot of the expenses of the channel, and I so appreciate it. And also Vicky in particular, happy birthday. I hope you had a wonderful day on Sunday. And General Scott, I will read the message you sent me. I haven't had the time to be able to do it yet this morning. It looks hilarious. I will take a look at it. So separate from that, King Bob, thank you for starting us off with one odd membership, with one gifted membership. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, King Bob. Followed by Samantha Lee, then making it an even membership with one membership, so it became two. Then King Bob coming in with another one to keep it odd, because it needs to be. And then Samantha coming back with another one and making it even. Then General Scott coming in with one to make it odd. Then Samantha coming back in with one to make it even. You guys are trolling. Carbonized Stardust coming in with a $13.99 super chat saying, smash that like button like Justin wishes he was smashing the charts. Oh. Ouch. Ouch.
Burn.
For the record, Your Honor, member of 12 months. That means you should have your Wut badge. Yay! Linda, did you get your Wut? Yes, you did. I can see it. Thank you for being a member for 12 months. Much love to you. Also, so you guys know, at the end of the show today, we're actually going to be rating Linda. She has a new video that is coming out today. So if you want to hold tight, we'll be transferring right into that premiere of her new video, and you can send her some love and some support. Also, Tyrena, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker. I'm going to go on my other screen here and take a look and make sure that I am looking at the right sticker. It is the Dancing Hippo. We love the dancing hippos here. Thank you so much. And Jean Rick, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker you have sent in of the 1-Up. Chomp chomp. Love it. Love it. Love it. More hippos. Then we had General Scott come in with 5 gifted memberships. You guys, my goodness. Then we had King Bob coming in. Well, hang on. I'm getting lost.
Yeah.
There's too many of them. Then we had Samantha coming in with 1 membership. My goodness, you guys. Then we had King Bob coming in with the $3 super sticker, which is the dancing hippo. You guys are being very generous today. Thank you very much. For the record, Your Honor, coming in with a super sticker on set. Very cute chair. Very cute chair. Me likey. General Scott came in with another gifted membership. You guys are just having a little war there. Thank you so much, General Scott. Then Samantha Lee gave another one. And then Project Metal Music just shared, member of 8 months. A up, it's Kim, and producer sister. A up to you. Thank you for being here. Producer sister, dare I ask, how many memberships are we at so far?
Samantha will be happy to know it is an even 14.
I mean, we are 6 minutes into this stream and we have 14 new members. That makes me very happy. Welcome, Space Angels. I am also going to take this opportunity.
15.
Oh my gosh. General Scott just came in to make it odd. You know what I feel like this is? King Bob just came in and made it even. Oh my gosh. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Do you guys remember the movie Sleeping Beauty when the fairies are fighting over whether or not the dress should be pink or blue? So it's like, make it pink, make it blue, make it pink, make it blue. I feel like it's make it odd, make it even, make it odd, make it even. It's making me laugh. Thank you very much, you guys. The generosity is very felt, and I so appreciate it. And on a personal note, I really do appreciate it because life happens, and sometimes life gets expensive, and I am terrified of what is going to happen this week for me because I got to take my car in. Not happy. The not happy light came on, so not having a good day on that front, but we will deal with it. I'm sorry, we will deal with it. We're going to be good. Thank you very much, General Scott, for now making it odd. You guys are hilarious. Thank you very much. As far as memberships go, though, I did want to point out to all of you Space Angels, as you filter all in, that I have put up a new video for you guys. It came out on Saturday, and it is the first episode of my Eurovision coverage for this year. So if you have not seen that and you are a member, check it out. It's, it's a part of your membership. It's about, I think it's over a 40-minute video, actually, the first one. And we're going to be continuing with the coverage throughout the Eurovision season. And I'm so excited to share that with you. And one of my favorite things about doing the Eurovision videos is that I really get to edit and be really silly and have a lot of fun. And like in the first few minutes, there's a reference to, I don't know if you guys remember that old internet cartoon, End of Z World. We got to reference End of Z World. We have a good time. It's good.
If you haven't seen it, you should.
It's so but I am late tired.
Go take a nap.
Take me fire. That video and Badger raised me. I'm sorry. It did. That's all you need to understand to know that I find those things funny. And you've got my sense of humor. Sorry, producer sister. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I was just going to say, Ray has suggested a poll of Team Even or Team Odd.
Okay. I feel like you guys have given enough that we should. There you go. You guys got your poll.
There we go. General Scott knows it.
Yeah. Have we got another one?
No, he knows the reference to End of Z World.
Yay! Yay! I can't say it out loud. That's why I just flashed it on the screen because I can't say it, but because we're too early in the stream, but you know what I mean. Oh my goodness. Luna's mom, Team Even! You guys are too funny. But we do have to get into the main topics today. Guys. This is the story that doesn't end, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and then some. So let's go through this all together. There has been some speculation in the press and on social media that Justin Timberlake's new song Drown is about Britney Spears, which is a very interesting theory, and we're going to get all into that. I do want to let you guys know that this speculation will include this stream will include speculation and opinion and should not be taken as fact. This is my show where I talk about my opinion, and therefore that's what this is. Always do your own research, and I have links to all of my sources in the description, so you are welcome to go and check those out. So if you have questions about why I think the way that I do, that's a good place to start, and you can also do your own research. Also, to give credit where credit is due. And hi, YouTube Human Reviewer. Nothing explicit will be shown on this stream. We're not doing that. We go to great lengths to make sure that what we're doing is abiding by the guidelines of YouTube because we care about this platform and we would like to stay on it. So please know that we are doing our absolute best, and things will be censored accordingly. And also with stuff like this, I know we don't really have a problem with this in this community, but I think it's important to mention, just to be responsible, please do not send hate to anybody. In real life, we don't want to hurt people, right? Like it's okay to have an opinion, but let's just not be jerks about it. And I know you guys are great, so I don't really worry about that too much, but yeah. So here we go. To start, I don't think I need to get super into the downfall of Justin Timberlake over the last couple of years. Like this article that The Atlantic released in January, there seems to be this air of desperation around Justin right now, whether it's because his music is not as successful as it used to be or his personal controversies. The public's view of Justin Timberlake has been tarnished, and the way that he's viewed now compared to the way that he was viewed 10 years ago is vastly different. And I honestly don't think that Britney is the only reason that there's been that change in the way that people have viewed him. I think a lot of people would love to just blame that on her, but I don't think that it's just her. So Justin's new song Drown is under scrutiny, with fans and tabloids wondering if the song is bashing Britney. I've even actually seen a fan theory that it's from Britney's perspective and that Justin is writing it in her perspective as an apology. And I'm like, I don't really think that's the case. I will say I don't have any reason to believe that that is true, but we'll just keep going on that front. Um, Now, we know his previous song, Cry Me a River, is about her. And I have to be honest that when I read the lyrics of Drown, the thought that it was about her did cross my mind. Now, tentatively, I wasn't immediately like, it's about Britney. Like, I wasn't dying or anything like that, but I'm just saying that, like, it was kind of like, I could see this causing a dialogue, and it absolutely has. So, Cry Me a River is obviously about her. He released another song years later called Blue Ocean Floor that a lot of people believe is about Britney. And I don't know. I've never been able to fully confirm that. So when another song was dropped that was called Drown. We've got Cry Me a River, Blue Ocean Floor, and Drown. We're continuing this water theme, and I think it got some fans' attention. This could also just be completely coincidental and be nothing. Right? Right? But how many times have we been like, this is completely coincidental, it could mean absolutely nothing, but it does mean something, and then there's a whole bunch of controversy surrounding it. So Us Weekly reported on this. This isn't me pulling out a random fan theory. This is actually now being reported on. Justin Timberlake's new single Drown seems to hint at a past failed relationship, and some fans think the singer may be referencing ex Britney Spears. Drown was dropped on Friday, February 23rd, and the track will be featured on his upcoming album Everything I Thought It Was, which is set to be released on March 15th. Lacey, okay? Okay, she's just nesting. We're good. The lyrics in Drown, which Timberlake co-wrote with was it Louis Bell, Henry Walter, Amy Allen, and Kenyon Dixon? Thank you, songwriters. Reflect on a romance that once crashed and burned with a former partner when the former partner showed him who they really were. You left me alone in the dark with all of your demons, Timberlake sings in the first chorus of the song. Got caught up in the tide of all the tears you cried. You know I was blinded by my heart. Sinking from the start, should have never followed you this far. Now I'm in the deep end. The second verse, Timberlake croons that he should have never followed his ex this far, but was blinded by his heart and is now stuck in the deep end. This subject matter has led some fans to speculate that the former boy bander is referencing his messy breakup with Spears on the track. Justin Timberlake also questions if the romance could have worked out if things were different. Sometimes I sit and fantasize, maybe sometime in another life, we could have got it right. Got it right. Justin thought Britney might talk about their ups and downs in more general terms when it came to the book, not air out their very personal dirty laundry, the insider explained in October of 2023. He's disappointed she went this route after they split up. Another source claims that Timberlake, who shares sons Silas and Phineas with wife Jessica Biel, feels remorseful but hopes they can move past this. Justin regrets that he hurt Britney. He was young. The second source shared with us. He thinks Britney has every right to tell her story and hopes they can move on now. While Timberlake faced backlash after Spears' memoir, she seemed to issue an apology last month. Shortly after, Spears appeared to say sorry. Timberlake performed a concert in New York while introducing his 2002 song. Gosh, we're old. I just remember when that video came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like 20 years ago. Which seemingly alludes to his breakup with Spears. Timberlake spoke to the audience. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely effing nobody, he said per the footage shared on social media. Spears quickly retracted her apology afterwards. Drown wouldn't be the first time he sang about Britney. We've got Cry Me a River. Okay, so what I think is important to mention, though, with that apology, and this all ties together, trust me on this one. The big thing with the apology was not just because of how it affected Britney. It was how it affected Janet Jackson. And I want to explain this because I feel like maybe we haven't gone as deep into this as we should. So, part of the issue here is that after the documentary Framing Britney Spears came out, Justin wrote a public apology. He wrote a public apology. Okay, so this is the thing. People that want to defend Justin all you want, whatever, he has admitted that he was out of line when he held hands with the actress when he was married to Jessica Biel. And he has admitted that the way that he treated Britney and Janet Jackson was not okay. That's him saying it, not me. That's him. Okay? So, when he had his outburst on stage, which we believed was directed at Britney, right? With Cry Me a River saying, I am going to apologize to absolutely effing no one, that does seem to be a retraction. It seems to be a retraction to what he apologized for previously. And if it's to absolutely effing no one, that would also mean by extension that that apology that he made to Janet is null and void. And that's the way that it was interpreted by many of Janet Jackson's fans. Okay, so that's why, and I know it sounds like a bit of a long shot, but does that make sense, producer sister? Am I explaining this correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's like it was more than like it was more than at Britney. Janet Jackson fans were not happy. I totally get it. And it didn't help that this happened pretty much around the time of the 20th anniversary of the wardrobe malfunction, which a lot of Janet fans still have issues with because she's never fully recovered from that controversy. And Justin seemed to get off, scot free. So, like, literally, this is TMZ saying he issued a full blown statement, etc. But now it seems maybe he didn't mean it. Okay, so not just from my brain. This is how it's been reported. This is what people think. Now, I found this awesome opinion piece about Janet and Justin, and it is from February 1st of this year, off of the Metro website. And this lovely, lovely person, Alicia, wrote a fantastic article. So I just want to read you guys what she said because this is very much about Janet and Justin, and I am not an expert on Janet and Justin in any way. Surely he had to have known that at a time people are begging for him to apologize to Britney and Janet, his recent rebellion on stage would only exacerbate the negativity towards him. Not only was it a bad PR move, it just supports the perception that he hasn't done the work to change. Fair. We don't want to dislike Justin Timberlake. There is nothing worse than one of your favorite stars from your childhood disappointing you in adulthood. We love an accountable king. However, he certainly doesn't make it easy to support him. It will be interesting to see how his latest comment will impact his comeback. Will fans shun the tour, or will he have a change of heart? So that's been the dialogue up until this point. So when Britney posts an Instagram post praising Janet Jackson, people just started thinking, is there something else going on here? Is this shade at Justin? So from page 6, Britney Spears is throwing her support behind Janet Jackson. The toxic songstress posted and quickly deleted a sweet message about the Scream hitmaker. Thank you to this beautiful lady for keeping my dreams and heart alive, Spears wrote on Instagram on Sunday. She's always been the deepest and brightest woman at the same time. She went through so much, but I feel she is someone I will look up to for the rest of my life. Thank you for your music and your divine way of untangling intelligence to a far more clear view than anyone could ever imagine. The sweet caption, which was accompanied by a photo of Jackson's cover art for her 1993 album Janet, seemed to reference the controversy surrounding the Super Bowl performance with Justin Timberlake. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. Janet's record, Janet, is iconic. That album art itself is iconic. I don't see how that necessarily is related to the Super Bowl, but maybe that's my ignorance and I don't know enough about it to see that connection. But I do feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. A little bit. Spears' message comes amid her ongoing feud with her ex-boyfriend, who infamously exposed the 5-time Grammy winner's chest in the middle of the 2004 halftime show. The tide has turned in recent years, however, in Timberlake's favor with the court of public opinion during the Free Britney movement. So people are asking, is this shade at Justin? Is it? I mean, here's the thing. Truthfully, I don't know. because it has also been reported previously that Janet and Britney bonded over the backlash of Justin Timberlake scandals, and I totally get that. They're both women working in pop music. They both have been trailblazers. Britney looks up to Janet like crazy. I mean, sometimes it's like when you watch the two of them dancing side by side, it's like, are they related? Like, did Janet birth Britney? And it's just because, like, I would imagine she just studied it. That she studied Janet dancing, and same as she just uh, like it's just these are the people that she looked up and really wanted to follow in their footsteps. So the fact that Janet would be going through a tough time with her ex, they all know each other. NSYNC was on tour with Janet for a while. Britney was on tour with NSYNC for a while. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of connections, and I could see them being able to relate to things. And Britney has also never been shy about her support of Janet and Michael. She is a huge fan of the Jacksons. And this is nowhere near the first time that this is just a handful of them that I could pull up quickly of posts that Britney has made with its music in the background or about Michael or anything like that. She has a lot of love for these people. And I don't necessarily think that that love, like, I don't see how that's weird for her to be like, I love Janet Jackson. Anyone that's been a Britney fan for a long time is like, yes, water is wet, the sky is blue. Britney loves Janet Jackson. Okay. There I don't see much more to that, but the timing is interesting, which is part of why I honestly am wondering. I understand that Britney sends out cryptic messages all the time on Instagram. She really does. There was one article, not article. She made a post. I think was it last week or the week before, where she mentioned the Kardashians, and people thought that was kind of strange. And then when people took a deeper look, there was an article that referenced both her and the Kardashians and the way they spoke in Instagram culture, and it seemed like Britney's caption was a response to that article. But the connection was not instantaneous, and she's not going to mention the article by name. So yes, Britney does use Instagram to address things that are going on and things that are being said about her. But sometimes she also just wants to say that she likes something, that she enjoys something. And she said multiple times that her intention with this book was not to hurt anyone, it was to tell her side of the story. And this could very well just be Britney thanking one of her idols for the music that she's made and the impact that she's had on her life. And all I can say is that I don't know what Justin's thinking right now. I've read that he's not doing super great because he's come down with a horrible flu. And if that is the case, I do hope he feels better soon. It sounds like a doozy. But I think it's going to be impossible for him to run away from this at this point. And I kind of feel a bit bad for him because I honestly I can't think of anything he could say or do that would calm this and or that wouldn't start a wildfire. Like I honestly like I look at this and I just go, what even can he do at this point? And I guess that's where I can find some compassion for Justin, but at the same time, it's like you kind of made this bed, so you're lying in it now, I guess. But I don't think that necessarily every time Britney Spears is going to reference Janet Jackson, it is meant to be shade at Justin Timberlake. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Now, as far as Justin Timberlake writing a song about Britney, I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. Okay. Like, I'm just saying, I hope that's not the case. And it is a choice to make it. I want to mention because something I think that's actually hilarious. I don't know if you know this yet, producer sister. The track listing for Justin's album is out.
Oh no.
He has a song called Liar.
It's just making it too easy.
I know! I'm like, what are you doing? Change the title!
Why? You know what's gonna happen.
I know! And the funny thing is as soon as I started seeing people talking about Drown being released, literally there was just someone in the comments saying, so which Britney song are we streaming now? Have we decided?
Be every time. Right?
Well, I think part of the funny thing of selfish charting and liar charting is that both of those were bonus tracks off of previously released albums that had never charted. They're literally like the least, like the songs that get the least amount of exposure. And they were able to outsell. So it's an absolutely brutal, brutal concept. And so I don't know if something like Every Time would be the same because Every Time has had its success. Um, but like, what do we pick now? I personally, I think if we're gonna make any song go viral to support Britney, it should be Email My Heart.
No.
Or Give the Anticipating Stands Their
No.
Time. For those of you that don't know, there are Britney fans that love the song Anticipating and they want the world for this song. And this song now is like over 20 years and people are still obsessed. People are still obsessed. So maybe it's time for justice for Anticipating. I don't know. But I'm just saying I think it's interesting and we will see what happens as we go through this whole train wreck of a mess. But I just couldn't believe when I saw that track listing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. But maybe it was too late to change anything too, right? Like we don't know, right?
I'm looking at bonus tracks, see what else I can find.
I mean, I love Scary, which a lot of people haven't heard because I believe it was a Japan exclusive bonus track. And it wasn't on a lot of releases. I actually am not even sure if it's on Spotify at this point. But that's a good song. That got the short end of the stick. That deserved more.
Oh, Change Your Mind.
Oh,
That's a bonus track.
is it really?
Yeah. Deluxe edition bonus tracks, Change Your Mind. There you go. That's my vote.
That's not a part of the standard track listing?
Nope.
That's a travesty. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay,
There's my vote.
now we're just having like Britney stan like deep cuts. Anyway, I did want to mention something else today because as we've wrapped up coverage on a couple of other stories, I'm trying to look at other stories that potentially we would want to cover over the long haul because I know you all love the drama of the Britney and Justin, but it can't be the only thing that we talk about. And genuinely, my hope is that the drama between the two of them calms down. You know what I mean? Like I really want to see them both just be able to move on in their lives and be healthy and everything else. So
Wouldn't bank on that.
I can have dreams. I can have hope. You know. But one big story that people are talking about right now is Wendy Williams. And I did want to talk about this briefly because over the weekend, a documentary about her was released. And we've found out more information regarding her health very recently. In particular, that she is struggling with dementia. And it's dementia is just awful no matter what. But she has the same kind of dementia that Bruce Willis has, and it affects understanding communication, whether it be spoken or written. And it's very very sad, and it answers a lot of questions that people have had over the years about what is going on with Wendy. How is she doing? Why did she leave her show? What's really going on with her? Why does she has a guardianship in place? Why does she have a guardianship in place? All those types of questions. But there does seem to be a conflict between her legal guardians and her family. And as a Britney fan, a huge thing that we have advocated for over the last number of years is for people to take a look at the conservatorship or the guardianship system because it can so easily be manipulated. And it's not good. And ultimately, if you have people like Britney Spears that have all this power and all this money, and they lose their ability to be able to govern their own life, I mean, for the rest of us, like, what hope do we have? You know what I mean? And that was part of what we were really trying to get through to people was that conservatorships can be dangerous and that there are issues within the court. And this has left some people wondering, is that the case of what is going on with Wendy? Because there's definitely been criticism from her family towards her guardians, and it does appear from the guardians to the family. It's very, very messy. And honestly, I feel like it's kind of one of those things that in order to cover it properly, like you really got to dive in. You got to dive in. And it's a lot. And I will say, as a commentator, as much as I don't agree with things that Wendy has said or her way of reporting a lot of the time, I would never wish any harm on her. And as someone who does pop culture commentary, I understand and I respect and I give her credit for her influence and the how she has changed the landscape of people being able to talk about pop culture. She is a titan in this, and I I I have respect for her, and I understand that she has partially, if not has, really opened the doors for people to do like what I do. So, I mean, I want the best for her. Um, but I think what has really torn people is there has been a documentary that has come out. She is listed as an executive producer on this documentary, but it has been released without the, it seems, the approval of her guardians. And her guardians actually tried to get it to not happen. They tried to stop it from being released. The courts ruled in the favor of the the documentary, and it was released over the weekend. And I've been seeing a lot of dialogue that fans are not happy with it, because even though the family appears to be involved in the documentary and Wendy is listed as an executive producer, it does appear that she is being exploited within the documentary, that she's being shown in a light that they don't think the Wendy they watched or listened to for years would be okay with. And I also have to ask the question, can someone who is dealing with all of the health issues that she's dealing with, some of which are neurological, fully understand and consent to having this released about her? And I know that that's quite a statement, but I'm seeing a lot of people asking that question, and I think it's a fair one. And I think it also brings into question things like, we know Britney has another record deal under her belt that we believe was finalized during the conservatorship. Should she have to complete that contract when she wasn't the one who agreed to it? And essentially, if she did have to sign it, it would have been under duress. Do we uphold contracts for people that now cannot fully? I don't want to. I want to be clear that multiple parties have said that Wendy is still doing some things for herself, that she is having clear conversations with people. I don't want to write her off as someone that has no concept of what is going on around her whatsoever, because I don't think that's fair to her. Um, but is this ethical? Is this right? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know. So my plan was to sit down and watch this documentary series, and I honestly couldn't bring myself to do it because I don't know how I sit with it ethically. Um, I think ultimately with everything, something's off, something's not right, because I'm seeing concerning stuff from the family side and I'm seeing concerning stuff from the guardian side, and it just kind of feels like something's really not right everywhere in this situation. Um, I always try to report in a way that if that celebrity ever saw me report, that I wouldn't be embarrassed, that there's nothing that I would be afraid to say to their face. For example, as much as I don't like Justin Timberlake, I've tried to show compassion to him over my coverage multiple times. And even when I've been really harsh, things like saying to him, like, he really should not be doing a tell all interview. Like, really shouldn't, because I think he honestly would be a moron if he did it. And if he was in front of me, I would tell him that. I'd be like, "You would be so dumb to do this." Because it doesn't matter what you say, people are going to take it the wrong way because they're so mad at you, right? I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm saying that he would be stupid to do that. And I would say that to him. And so when I talk about someone like Wendy, I want to respect her. Um, and in particular, when people are going through something like dementia. And I have personal experience with this with a family member that we ultimately lost. Um, but they battled dementia for, it was over 10 years, wasn't it? Producer sister?
Yes.
Yes. And so we had a front row seat to all of that, and it was horrible. But the number one thing that we tried to focus on when it came to that person in my family was helping them hold on to as much dignity as they could. And I don't want to do anything that would disrespect Wendy in any form because I just don't feel right about it. But I would be interested to see what you guys think about this situation. Do you want me to dig into it? Um, Knowing where my heart is on this and that my goal is not to exploit her further, but it is an important conversation for us to have about guardianships and conservatorships. And as always, I'm very passionate about disability rights. I think it's really sad that we tend to have this mentality that if someone is disabled, that they should lose some of their human rights. And that's just messed up. That's not the way that it should be. And it feels like everything here is a bit of a slippery slope. But I could see this story going on for a really long time and having us ask a lot of questions. So I'm going to end our lovely poll, the best poll we've ever had of
Very
Team
informative.
Even and Team Odd. Team Even is winning with 55%, and Team Odd has 45%. You guys are hilarious, and I love it. I do want to mention. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm just seeing the chat popping you guys back on. Let me change here. Okay. Colin just said dementia at 59 is a little odd. Most times it seems mostly older people in their 70s or 80s that get it. That does seem to be the stereotype. However, the type that she has, it is more common in younger people from what I've read. Um, so it's tragic and it's horrible, but it is possible. But this is also why I've argued in the past that when dementia was written on Britney's conservatorship papers, when you understand the way that dementia works and the effects that it actually has on the brain, how it affects mobility, how it affects communication, all of those things, I don't see how it's even possible that Britney could have a dementia diagnosis of any form. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. And there's all those types of things. So I guess we'll see over time. But I'm going to ask you guys now. Let's do a poll. Do you want me to cover Wendy? Yes or no? And let me know what you guys think. Because I want to be respectful. I want to do the right thing. And I've been seeing activity. What have you guys been doing? Oh my goodness. So the last one I think I said was there had been a gifted membership from General Scott. Thank you very much, General Scott. Lulu's mom has then been a member for 4 months and is team even. Carbonized Stardust sent in a 279 super chat saying Q don't want you back by BSB. And then Shauna coming in with 20 gifted memberships. Shauna, that is so generous of you. Thank you so much. Very appreciated. And dare I ask, producer sister, where are we at?
37.
Holy smoke. So we are odd.
We are odd.
We are odd currently. That is amazing. Thank you all so much. I so appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And to all of the new Space Angels, please feel free to check out the Space Angels only playlists that are on my main channel page, as well as the new coverage for Eurovision this year. I am so excited to go through everything. I have to say, the last song we reviewed in the first episode, after the episode ended, I listened to it again and I watched it, and I realized that these lovely headphones, they couldn't handle it. Like the instrumentation, it was too, like it couldn't handle it properly. So I wasn't hearing it in full. So I literally went up into my room, I put it on a proper sound system, and I put it on. I'm obsessed with that song. I'm obsessed with Belgium's entry this year. It is amazing. Amazing. And I'm so excited for another year of great music because it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm going to check in with you guys and see how you all are doing. Is it Joanna Quinn? Hello. I don't recognize your name. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe, everybody, if you have not, and to like this stream. It means a lot to me and it helps out a lot. So sad to hear this about Wendy. Always watch Wendy. She had a few scary moments live on the air. Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing is too, we got to remember with Wendy is that I believe she also has Graves' disease, and she has struggled with alcohol as well. Um, I've also read she has lymphedema. There's just a lot of health issues going on here. It's very complicated. It must be very, very complicated. We all respect Wendy. Has she approved the documentary? I think she would want us to know. And that's the thing, is that she is listed as an executive producer. But from what I've heard, there are moments where she is portrayed in a not very nice light. And I think if I had dementia, I don't know if I would want the whole world seeing that process for me. You know, it's not a fun one. It's not a fun one. And I think anybody that has a loved one who's gone through it, right? Like, it's just, it's private. It should be private.
Well, I would also say going through various relatives we've had who have had major illnesses at the end of their life, there are definitely things that have been said to me by them that I know if they were in their right mind, they would have never said.
Yes.
And thankfully, those moments were not broadcast to the world. They were in the privacy of our own family.
Mm-hmm. With the understanding that we knew that it was not them.
So to then turn around and broadcast those moments for her, and then people are going to take that as who she is. I don't like it.
Yeah, it feels so odd to me, and I can't judge it that much because I mean, I haven't seen it all, right? So I'm only speaking from what I've been told, and I like to see things in full context. So
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Okay. Oh, Dempsey just said, sorry, I don't know who Wendy is. Wendy had her own daily talk show called The Wendy Williams Show, where she went over celebrity news and hot topics. And prior to that, she was very prominent in radio, particularly in hip hop and in R&B, and was a force in that. So she was a bit of a trailblazer, in my opinion, in a lot of those things. And she really, really did change the industry in a lot of ways. Where is it? DVD said the doc was so sad. Sadly, shady people around her, guardian MIA, family frozen out, her inability to communicate or care for herself. She needs support. And so it's so sad. It's so, so sad. Where is it? Marsha just said, yes, Wendy has so many health issues. Nice light is probably the dementia. Random bouts of anger and anxiety. My grandma suffered with this, and it's scary and sad. Exactly. Yeah. It's Mandalorian. Knuckin' Futz. Yeah, I know Pascal's covering it, and I honestly, I haven't watched any of his coverage on it yet. I probably will, because he always does such a great job with that stuff. So much respect to him. So much love to his channel always. Yeah, Susan Dawn said, I feel like that maybe, unfortunately, she is being taken advantage of, and it's so sad. And the thing is, for me, from the outside looking in, I can't tell which side it is, or if it's both. And that's what's so scary about it in the first place for me. Samantha Lee, thank you so much for gifting another membership. Was that 38?
Yes.
And then King Bob coming in with the next one. The 39. I love Samantha just putting the stop emoji. Stop! Yeah. All right, well, let me take a look here at the poll and see what you guys are saying. Well, we got a good amount of votes, so I think it's a good sample size then, for sure. I've got 71% yes and 28% no. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do then is I will look a bit more into it and try to make a more educated decision. And rest assured, for those of you that said no, and I have seen some comments, and I know it's that we want to treat people with respect. We want to have people have their privacy. just know that I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, and I'm going to do my best to be as careful with this as possible. Um, because I think there is something to be said for people understanding dementia and related disorders better, because it is something that a lot of people don't really understand until they have a loved one go through it. Um, and the more awareness we have, the more people can, you know, essentially, it sounds stupid, but be aware and take care of their health and do the best that they can. So it's we'll be careful. I will be careful, rest assured. And I have no intention of robbing Wendy of her dignity in any form. So that's how I feel about that.
It's that delicate balance
Yeah.
of you want to respect their privacy, but change can't happen unless you shine a light on things. So it's finding that balance.
Yeah. But from what I've heard, some of the things that they've chosen to share, I feel like violate that balance.
So those are the things we don't show, because we don't want to extend that narrative and bring more light to that portion.
Yeah. Yep. But just know for me that, like, because there was someone I loved that we lost to that, like, I do take this very seriously. And I hope you guys understand that. Carbonized Stardust just shared, my papa passed from Parkinson's and dementia. I'm so sorry. It's an ugly illness that steals not only from the person, but from their family. Shaking my head. Yep. It's true. It's true. It's absolutely brutal. And I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like in our family, you know, we've lost people to heart problems, to cancer, to kidney problems, Alzheimer's. Like, it's you know, you just go across the board, like, none of it is fun. None of it is an easy time. You know, they all suck. All of it sucks. But it's hard. But yeah, but as Marcia said, yes, you can't tell about the condition without showing the worst side of it. But you can show the worst side of it by talking about it and explaining. Like, I would have rather seen people, and I mean, like, I have to watch the documentary, obviously, but just having, like, someone kind of saying without her on screen that she's having, for example, saying, like, she's having outbursts, she's having these issues, we're trying to protect her, but this has been hard. Like, to me, that's more respectful than showing her lashing out at people. Right? So, yeah. Oh, Teresa just said, my dad passed with this awful disease and a host of others that included it as a side effect. I feel if done respectfully, it could help show what loved ones go through. Exactly. And that's why it's so hard. And I think this is going to be one of these stories where it's not black and white. There's so much gray. There's so much, you know, good with the bad and bad with the good. It's just really hard. It's really hard, which is part of why I was so anxious to do it at all. But I'm glad you guys understand, and I very much do appreciate the support and the feedback and the understanding. And I will do my best to do my best, for lack of a better term. So, oh, hi, Emily. Hey, yeah, sorry I'm late. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. It's good to see you. All right. Well, we're in halftime now. I think that's safe to say. And I cannot believe how many of you guys are here. Thank you all so much for being here. It means the world. I think we will move on to our What the What in a couple of minutes, because I have read the title, which I am assuming does not tell me near everything.
No, it does not.
But enough for me to go, we're going to have feelings. We're going to have feelings. We're going to have thoughts. We're going to have thoughts. And so I'm here for it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Just said I'd love to hear you talk about Wendy in your safe space. I hope that it's a safe space for everybody too. You know, I do my best for that. So it is, you know, that be what it be. Oh, I'm just double checking here. The thing now. No, I think I saw Marcella pop in here earlier.
Yep.
I can't find your first comment, but hello, Marcella. It's good to see you. Hello, and hello to Lollipop. You guys are wonderful. Much love to you all. Oh my gosh, Meg S just came in with the gifted membership. Is that 38?
No, that is 40.
That's 40?
That's 40.
Holy smokes, you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. That is awesome. And I'm so honestly like I want to word this correctly because I don't want to say this as in like everybody needs to give me money right now. But I so appreciate it when people do gifted memberships because I feel like it allows people to be able to come and sit at the table that we're all sitting at. And with something like Eurovision, the coverage I do behind the scenes, it's very difficult for me to do that on my main channel because of copyright reasons. And I explain that quite a bit in the coverage that I do over there. So it's safer for me and this channel for me to do it in that format. But that also means that some people that maybe want to see it that are not in a position that they can afford to do membership even at a lower price, they get excluded. And I don't like it. So I really do appreciate you guys when you choose to do that because I think not only does it benefit me, it benefits somebody else. And I just think that that's such a beautiful thing. So thank you very much for doing that. And also from a selfish perspective, hopefully if they like it and let's say somebody is able to, like, I'd love to see them join us and stay and be a part of this community. So I hope that that's okay. Hope that makes sense. And it looks like more stuff came in while I was talking.
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. Shauna, thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate that. You've already been so generous today, as well as General Scott. Thank you for the gifted membership because you've been very generous today as well. And Jackie Swan, thank you for gifting the membership too. That means a lot to me, and I very much do appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and I love the love. I love how it. I had a stupid little moment this weekend. I don't know if you guys follow at all the Taylor Swift's tour, the Eras tour. I think a lot of fans of Taylor's, we kind of keep in the loop about what's going on with each show because she performs different songs and things happen and things are fun and whatever. And she said to the crowd in one of her shows in Australia that she was so proud of the way that her fans treated each other and the way that they loved each other and the things that she was hearing about how like fans were treating other fans within the arena and the things they had made and all those types of things and just her being so humbled and happy to see people just be so kind to one another. And I'm like, I mean, I get that because you guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I'm so thankful for you every day. So yeah, very, very proud of you guys. Very proud of you guys. Let me see here. What the what today is a gifting war. Can hear did you say something? I thought I saw you make a comment about how should we call this the one yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Can we call it the one gifting war? You can call it whatever you want. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Shauna, yes, I saw your comment and I started laughing in the video. She said, I was so excited to see your first post for Eurovision. Haven't I sat down and rated the videos? France! France! Okay. I'm gonna explain this in full. Some people have found a lot of enjoyment out of the introductions that Miss Universe did. It wasn't this past one, it was the one before where all of the beauty contestants came up and announced the country they were from. And it kind of spawned a whole bunch of memes. I think there was one from like the Scott family on TikTok where the I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, but the wife of the couple, she just randomly sets up her camera, her husband's sitting behind her, and she just starts pretending and imitating each of these things. So literally just going like, Denmark! And then walking off, and her husband's just like, what's happening? But for whatever reason, that year, France. She literally just goes up to the microphone and goes, France! And then walks away. Like, I'm not exaggerating that. She yells it like that. And it's just the most like, why? Why? Why would you say it that way? Like there's a lot of energy, right? Like to it. I get that, but it just was the way that she said it. It was just ridiculous. So I always try to find ways to put in memes with my edited videos because I feel like it helps explain the absolute chaos that is my ADHD mind. Um, so yes, France, the wonderful country of France, they I guess the people that are in charge of France's entry for Eurovision do not want me showing any footage of their entry whatsoever. They had feelings about it. So I had to remove um about 99% of the footage of France's entry from my video. And for that reason, I now will be simultaneously, because I cannot use their footage of their song will now be replaced with the Miss Universe France contestant going, France! Because I don't know what else I can do. So I hope you guys are good with that.
There was another guy who went viral who was also doing his own reenactments. It wasn't the girl and her husband, it was a guy. And he had like dresses and wigs and all that matched and did all the replications of how they said the country names. It was beautiful.
Oh gosh, hang on. I'm going to find the... Where is it? Oh, I have to stop and start because it isn't my footage. Credit to the Scott family on TikTok, and I believe they're also on Instagram and everywhere, you know, wherever books are sold, they're everywhere. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, it's called, I think France was his favorite. You can look this up on YouTube. I will throw the, you know, the URL in the source document, but let me know if it's too loud, but here's like a part of it. So she goes through a whole bunch of them, all in alphabetical order. And then she finally, where is it? So like, she does the Dominican Republic, which is another big one.
Why are you doing this?
I have seen that clip so many times. It's still funny to me. So yeah, this France, if this is what happens, if you don't let me use your footage, I do this. I make my choices.
Oh, I found the guy.
What?
I found the guy who did it.
You found the guy? Okay, save it because I may use it later on. We'll go through it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but now you guys know what that joke is. And those are the types of jokes that are all through my Eurovision coverage. I go a little crazy. Oh gosh, Pearl Jam. Coco started barking in France. I'm so sorry, Coco. It's okay. Coco, calm down. Coco, it's okay. The lady from France can't hurt you, okay? It's okay. Carbonite started, we regret nothing. Oh, okay. So it's Kim, it won't work. We French people also make fun of it. No, I'm just saying that I hope you guys do. I hope you guys find it funny because it's hysterical. And I mean, like, no hate to the woman who did that either. I just think it's hilarious. And quite bluntly, I don't even think that that's the worst failure in beauty pageant history. My personal favorite is the lady that went on about maps.
Yes.
That one. Have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen I think she was Miss Teen. I think she was Miss Teen. And I know she has since like tried to clarify what she actually meant and get some respect, like try to, you know, say what she wanted to say. She was obviously very nervous. So let me share this with you guys if you haven't seen it. It's beautiful. It's so funny. But yeah, no hate to her. No hate to her at all. So I have to stop and start it. But yeah, there's Mario Lopez.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
So most Americans cannot, you know, see everything on a map is essentially the question. Why are we having difficulties with maps? Are you guys okay hearing it? You let me know. I'm just double checking to make sure that the audio is okay before I keep going.
Sounded okay.
Yeah,
through my headphones.
I will have to stop and start as we go, just because of fair use. This isn't in its original form. But here we go.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and
Some people out there in our nation do not have maps. And I mean, obviously, you can tell she's struggling. Like, she's having a moment of, like, did I forget the question type thing or whatever. I think we've all been there. I've been there. I've forgotten what I'm talking about mid-sentence when I'm streaming.
I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and
Our education.
Such as.
And everywhere, like, such as. Like, what? What? Like
Carbonized just said Google Maps is just sitting in the corner crying.
yeah, like, what is
Like,
even happening? Why?
Sitting in your pocket on your phone.
Yep.
I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. So we will be able to build up our future for our
Thank you.
For our children.
I feel like this is the real life version of, I'd have to say April
25th.
25th.
Because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. Okay, I want to say something about that one too. So, what Producer Sister is referencing is Miss Congeniality, the movie with Sandra Bullock, and there is it is about a beauty pageant. It's a big portion, like it takes place in a beauty pageant. It's the whole plot of the movie is that Sandra Bullock is an undercover FBI agent who poses as one of the contestants of Miss America because there has been a threat to the competition, and they're trying to find out from the inside who is, threatening the women in the competition. So she's not a girly girl, okay? Like that's not her character at all. So she has to go through this big makeover process, and she's still like not fitting in, and it's very obvious that she does not belong there at all. But she befriends the contestant from Rhode Island, who seems to be a little bit not smart. And so her question she's asked at one of these things is, describe your perfect date. And as General Scott just wrote, I'd have to say April 25th because it's not too hot and not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
If you haven't seen the movie, you should.
I cannot tell you, like, Andy did that, my friend Andy, he did that pop-up stream where he just covered Miss America or Miss Universe or whichever it was because he could. And when they started asking the questions, I was in the chat and I literally wrote, like, I'd have to say April 25th. And I just went off like that. And there were so many people that were like, what are you even talking about? And I'm like, how have you not seen this movie? How have you not seen this? It's so amazing. It's awesome. It's like the best. Yeah. So that's a good one. That's almost as good, actually, as I don't know if you guys have ever seen Demi Lovato being asked what her favorite dish is, and she responds, a mug, because it has a handle so you can have hot things in it without hurting yourself. I don't think that's what the person meant when they asked her that question. But it was kind of funny. But yes, so I always think about the Miss Teen, South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's always a moment for me. Right? That answer is actually teen. And that's the thing, it's kind of funny, but you're kind of like, I don't.
Not what they were
Okay.
getting at, but okay.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Yeah. Oh gosh, 1 in a million. That song's a bop. That song's a bop from the movie. Yeah, it's so good. Anyway, are we ready to do What the What? Are we good? Are we good? I think we're good for it. I think we are good for it. Second here. Okay. Yeah, Lulu's mom. She did at least answer something such as. I just love that in South Africa and the Iraq. I was just like, I can't. Like, what is even happening? Okay.
Geography classes.
Geography classes. I could hear my grandfather screaming from the grave. He was a geography teacher, music teacher. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
gosh.
All right. Oh, Colin, I thought that was What the What. No,
Nope.
that's just the things
That's
that
the
live.
appetizer.
That's the things that live rent free in my mind constantly. I will be, in a meeting that's very serious, and randomly I will just have everything like such as pop into my head and have to suppress that because I'm laughing internally like crazy and I can't stop.
Oh, goodness. All right. So for What the What,
I'm
a little bit of
terrified.
context. There is an article that came out on February 15th, and it's been going viral.
I have not seen it.
So we're going to read it through and discuss. Do you want to bring up the...
Yep. The day I put $50,000 in a shoebox and handed it to a stranger, I never thought I was the kind of person to fall for a scam.
And the next line.
I just have it's just the author.
Yes, but what does it say after her name?
The Cuts financial advice columnist.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to go to the next slide.
Okay. So Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte.
This
Not
is
the
Charlotte.
normally the Charlotte we talk about on this channel if we're going to give any
No.
Charlottes a shout out. Much love to you, Queen.
So this Charlotte,
Yes.
as you can tell by the picture put here, and I specifically put that picture because one of the first questions people asked is, how old is this woman? As you can tell, she's probably a bit older than we are.
Yeah.
She's a freelance writer and columnist and has been published in a variety of different things, including New York Times, Glamour, Politico, I can't talk. She's had a lot of different roles, senior roles. She has her BA in English from Columbia.
What do you do with a BA in English? Bonus points to anyone that knows what that is.
Because of this story, she has been interviewed on CNN, Good Morning America, Inside Edition, among many others. So this has truly gone viral.
Okay, can I clarify something?
Yep.
I thought that she just wrote the article like it was a story about someone who did this. Is she saying she did this?
Yes. Hence why the occupation is so important. She has literally written a financial column for this online publication since 2016.
She admitted this?
Yes.
Publicly?
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hence why people are asking, how old is she?
Okay, hang on. So I think what we're all kind of making sure we understand before we proceed is what Lulu's mom just said. She's a financial advisor who put $50K in a shoebox and handed it to someone.
Correct.
Oh, my head hurts. Oh my gosh. I thought she was just reporting on it like somebody told her a story and she figured she'd share it with people.
No, this is her own experience.
I can't. No.
As Carbonize just said, when a Nigerian prince calls you and tells you he needs help,
I think my fellas in the chat right now, I just double checked. Babe, can you bring me one of my Coca-Colas, please? I think I'm gonna need it. Cause wow, this is this isn't good. This is bad.
So
Colin, you got it. It doesn't. I do want to mention though, and part of the reason producer sister did talk to me about this a little bit beforehand. She didn't tell me any details, just like the title, because I saw the title when I downloaded the file and then have to import it into StreamYard. The first stream I ever did, I talked about scams. In particular, I talked about the Johnny Depp scammers that pretend to be him and just are absolutely brutal and convince people that they are Johnny Depp and get money out of them or worse. And that was really important to me because I have seen so many of these fake accounts go through the comment sections on videos. And as someone who did cover a lot of the Johnny Depp trial alongside Popcorn Planet, we saw that come into our comment section, and it was a really difficult thing to try and manage because there were just so many, bots. It was like a hydra. You got rid of one and 3 more would pop up, and it just kept going. It was just absolutely insane. And I really wanted to talk about it and raise awareness for it so that hopefully if anyone by any chance could potentially fall into something like this, that they would learn about it, because we're not open enough about scams that go on in our world, I don't think. So it is something that is close to my heart, and I don't want to make fun of this woman, but at the same time, I am shocked that she did this. I mean, I guess we'll read the story, right? I need context. I need context on how this happened, but it was this just seems bizarre to me.
And that leads me to my next point. So, full disclosure, the internet, like Reddit, people on TV, whatnot, are arguing whether or not they believe that this story is true.
Well, because it just sounds so insane.
Oh, you haven't even heard half of it yet. So,
considering it's insane from the headline, we're already having this discussion. Like, I think I can only imagine how crazy this is going to get, but it is just absolutely bizarre.
Yeah. I will say, just to follow up to what you were saying, from my perspective, there are multiple scams that are touched upon in this story that are absolutely things that could happen. Do I necessarily believe that all of this happened as she wrote it? I'm having a little trouble, and we'll get into that. However, I do fully believe that there are scams within this story that have been happening to people.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Alrighty. Just double check here quickly, because I will have to not be as focused on the chat. I think there are a few things that just came in that I missed. So I think I left off on Jackie gifting a membership. So thank you very much, Jackie, for that. Then Ray gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And then King Bob gave another 5 memberships. Kill me. So funny. Thank you so much. Just my favorite thing sent in a $10 super chat. You're great, Kim. Just my favorite. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Terena gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And then Carbonized Stardust also gifted a membership. Thank you very much. You guys are wonderful. And I think we are good then to get started. Producer Sister, dare I ask now, what are we at?
51.
51?
Yep.
Holy smokers. Thank you guys so much. This is the biggest day we've had in a while, and I very much do appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate it. All right. I got my bottle here. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Maybe. I'm scared of what we're about to witness. I really am. Really, really am. Sorry, my phone also just went off too. Sorry, just give me one moment, you guys. I do apologize. Thank you, Megan, who sent me a PayPal. I'm just gonna read the caption. For a Costco pizza meal or Mexican Cokes. As in Coca-Cola, the cane sugar Coca-Cola. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We will go good. We will make that happen. We will make that happen. You want to get Costco pizza? Producer Sister, should we go get Costco pizza?
Sure.
All right, let's go. So this is the article.
Yes.
On a Tuesday evening this past October, I put $50,000 cash in a shoebox, taped it shut as instructed. Oh gosh. And carried it to the sidewalk in front of my apartment, my phone clasped to my ear. Don't let anyone hurt me, I told the man on the line, feeling pathetic. What? You won't be hurt, he answered. Just keep doing exactly as I say. When did you start to think this was bad? Oh, that's terrifying. 3 minutes later, a white Mercedes SUV pulled up to the curb. The back window will open, said the man on the phone. Do not look at the driver or talk to him. Put the box through the window, say thank you, and go back inside. What? Um. Okay. I'm absolutely horrified with this situation, but I have a question, and it's a very insignificant question, but I still have it. What kind of shoebox was it?
I think she says it later in the article.
Okay. I want to know. I have so many questions. The man on the phone knew my home address, my social security number, the names of my family members, and that my 2-year-old son was playing in our living room. He told me my home was being watched, my laptop had been hacked, and we were in imminent danger. I can help you, but only if you cooperate, he said. His first orders, I could not tell anyone about the conversation, not even my spouse, or talk to the police or a lawyer. So this is bad. This is bad. This is very bad. Okay. I'm scared for her. Now I know this was all a scam, a cruel and violating one, but painfully obvious in retrospect. Here's what I can't figure out. Why didn't I just hang up and call 911? Why didn't I text my husband or my brother, a lawyer, or my best friend, also a lawyer, or my parents, or one of the many other people who would have helped me? Why did I hand over all that money, the contents of my savings account, strictly for emergencies, without a bigger fight? I mean, that's a question only you can answer. Like, oh, okay. When I've told people this story, most of them say the same thing. You don't seem like the type of person this would happen to. What they mean is that I'm not senile or hysterical or a rube. But these stereotypes are actually false. Younger adults, Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X, are 34% more likely to report losing money to fraud compared to those over 60, according to a recent report from the Federal Trade Commission. Another study found that well-educated people or those with good jobs were just as vulnerable to scams as everybody else. I think that depends on the psychology of it. Right? Like if they're using fear, you go into fight or flight, and fawn is a response, freeze is a response. And we talked a bit in the stream about the Johnny Depp scammers that part of the reason why romance scammers are so successful is because when you start to fall in love or have those things happen in your brain, it's a lot easier for you to reason and to be like, oh, but that's not true because I love them. Like it kind of blinds you a bit to your logic. And that's part of why they do it, because they know they won't be questioned as much. Still, how could I have been such easy prey? Scam victims tend to be single, lonely, and economically insecure with low financial literacy. I am none of those things. I am closer to the opposite. I am a journalist who had a weekly column in the business section of the New York Times. I've written a personal finance column for this magazine for the past 7 years. I interview money experts all the time and take their advice seriously. I'm married and I talk to my friends, family, and colleagues every day. And while this is harder to quantify, how do I even put it? I'm not someone who loses her head. My mother-in-law has described me as even-keeled. Even my mom has called me maddeningly rational. I am listed as an emergency contact for several friends and their kids. I vote, floss, cook, and exercise. That's a bit random. Okay. In other words, I'm not a person who panics under pressure because you floss.
Sure.
Okay. And falls for a conspiracy involving drug smuggling, money laundering, and CIA officers at my door until suddenly I was. Sorry. I just looked over. Of all the things she could have listed, she does. How the heck does floss come into it? I don't know, General Scott. I don't know. Katie, you're sorry for floss. Very random. I don't know. Oh, gosh. Okay. That morning, it was October 31st. I dressed my toddler in a pizza costume for Halloween and kissed him goodbye before school. I wrote some work emails. At about 12:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. The caller ID said that it was Amazon. I answered. The polite woman with a vague accent told me she was calling from customer service department to check some unusual activity on my account. That call was being recorded for quality assurance. I had recently spent $8,000 on MacBooks and iPads. I had not. I checked my Amazon account. My order history showed diapers and groceries, no iPads. The woman who said her name was Krista told me the purchases had been made under my business account. I don't have a business account. I said, well, our system shows that you have two. Under what?
Scam number 1.
Okay, so at that point, I feel like I would start asking questions as far as how do you know that it's under me?
Yeah.
What's the address on it? Who are the cards, the credit cards in the name of? All that stuff. And then at that moment, I feel like it would have been wiser to hang up the phone and call like a credit company that can search and see if there are any credit cards being taken out under your name or things like that. But I don't know if I would, I don't know. This just sounds weird.
And one thing I can say from personal experience is I have been in the process in the past of setting up a business Amazon account. It is not as simple as you think it would be. There's a lot of different things. You do not automatically get a credit amount. It basically comes through to start that you still have to put a credit card on file and all that kind of thing. You don't just get a credit limit or something like that you can make purchases and then have to pay for it later, like a normal ARAP relationship.
Yeah. I will say too, Houston, this is a good way to do it too. Hang up and find the return telephone number yourself.
Correct.
So if you then go, okay, thank you, hang up, call Amazon back at their number on their website, inform them that this is what you were told when you answered the phone, confirm the phone number that you were called from, and then they can tell you very quickly whether or not there's a record of a phone call to you or if that phone number has nothing to do with them, and then you can know pretty quickly. That's a pretty good way to do it, honestly, if you have any concerns. And then on the off chance if there is something wrong, it shows that you did take it seriously and you were trying to fix it. You weren't just running from it, but it also gives you peace of mind.
And at the same time, do not use a phone number they gave you to call them back.
No, find the number yourself. They will transfer you where you need to go. There are departments in a lot of these businesses that are very aware of scams and they know exactly where to send you. So
same thing if you get an email saying your bank account's been compromised, click here to reset your password.
No.
Don't click it.
Don't click it.
Go on your banking app or website separately, and if it's real, there will be something there.
Yeah.
Or go in that way and just reset your password anyway, but do not click their link.
And carbonize 100%. Also, as someone who worked for the government, we don't call you. Generally, they don't.
For that.
Oh, gosh. No. Okay. That one too, Ken. I get that a lot too. Watch out for the Postal Service saying your package couldn't be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just call the company yourself. Just do it yourself. Find the original number. Go on their official website and do it that way. Okay. Krista and I concurred that I was the victim of identity theft, and she said she would flag fraudulent accounts and freeze their activity. She provided me with a case ID number for future reference and recommended that I check my credit cards. I did, and everything looked normal. I thanked her for the help. Then Krista explained to me that Amazon had been having a lot of problems with identity theft and false accounts lately, and it had become so pervasive that the company was working with a liaison at the Federal Trade Commission and was referring defrauded customers to him. Could she connect me? What?
Amazon does not work with the FTC.
Would that not be like a massive story if they did?
You would think.
It would be huge. It'd be massive. Like, I thought it was actually interesting last night. I logged into my bank app and there was a pop-up on the screen that normally isn't there. I don't know if you saw this, producer sister, and it was about the airline that recently
Yes.
shut down. And it was just saying to people like this, if you have an issue with this shutdown because of everything that was going on, like this is what we need you to do.
Mhm.
And that came directly from the bank on your login page. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's nice for them because they're probably going through absolute chaos right now.
That's called self-preservation for
Yeah,
their customer
service
service
department.
department.
They're like, we're trying,
They're
right?
getting inundated.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get ahead of it and say, this is what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, Amazon does not work with the FTC. They do not have someone that they can connect you to.
I can't even imagine how big that operation would have to be
Yeah.
if they did. Bizarre. Okay. Sure, I said. All right, this is getting worse. Krista transferred the call to a man who identified himself as Calvin Mitchell. Okay. Said he was an investigator with the FTC. Gave me his badge number and had me write down his direct phone line in case I needed to contact him again. He also told me our call was being recorded. He asked me to verify the spelling of my name. Then he read me the last 4 digits of my social security number, my home address, my date of birth to confirm they were correct. The fact that he had my social security number threw me. I was getting nervous. That is concerning.
Yes. Also, side note, who gets transferred to the FTC and doesn't have to wait on hold?
This is so weird. I'm glad we're speaking, said Calvin. Your personal information is linked to a case that we've been working on for a while now, and it's quite serious. Okay. So it's that serious, and you started off with an Amazon caller?
Mm-hmm.
Red flags, red flags, red flags. He told me that 22 bank accounts, 9 vehicles, and 4 properties were registered to my name. The bank accounts had wired more than $3 million overseas, mostly to Jamaica and Iraq. Did I know anything about this? No, I said. Did I know someone named Stella Suki Kwong? I don't think so, I said. He texted me a photo of her ID, which he claimed had been found in a car rented under my name that was abandoned on the southern border of Texas with blood and drugs in the trunk. Okay, why would they be telling her all of this?
Mm-hmm.
This is the type.
Read you the case file.
This is the type of stuff they don't talk to you about. Like, they might talk to you about it if you're like at a police station with lawyers, with all this stuff to let you know. But at that point, like,
after you've been arrested,
what is happening? A home in New Mexico affiliated with the car rental had subsequently been raided, he added, and authorities found more substances, cash, and bank statements registered to my name and social security number. He then texted me a substance bust photo full of stuff and money stacked on a table. And he told me that there were warrants out for my arrest in Maryland and Texas, and that I was being charged with cyber crimes, money laundering, and substance transportation. But he had her social security number,
mm-hmm.
her home address,
Mm-hmm.
her date of birth.
Mm-hmm. But they waited for Amazon to transfer her, to talk to her about it.
But Amazon was the one to reach out to her.
About $8,000 in MacBook purchases.
And that was the problem before we got into everything else.
Correct.
Guys, if the cops have that much on you, they're going to show up at your door.
Yeah.
They're not going to call you and tell you they're coming. They're just going to show up at your door.
And if they so believed that this was identity theft,
oh my god,
why is there a warrant out for her arrest?
Exactly. This makes no sense. Sorry, I just saw something. Oh, Gunner Girl. Gunner Girl became a grandma, one of our members. Yay! Congratulations, Gunner Girl. Oh my goodness. Congratulations on your grandson. That is amazing. I'm so happy he's here. And I hope you are having a wonderful day. And that's awesome. That's awesome. So happy for you. Okay. This is a mess. My head swam. I Googled my name along with warrant and money laundering, but nothing came up.
Shocking.
For real. Were arrest warrants in public? I wasn't sure. I mean, generally, there'd be something. Or you could at least call them,
Mm-hmm.
call the Texas police and be like, hey, are y'all looking for me? Because I'm not trying to evade arrest. Because truthfully, if it is that bad, that probably would take you quite a far ways
Yeah.
of being like, I'm the one that called them.
Be forthcoming.
Because I don't know what's happening. I'm super confused. Right? Okay. Google led me to truthfinder.com, which asked for my credit card information. Nope, I am in deep poop. I texted my husband. My identity was stolen and it seems really bad. Calvin wanted to know if I knew anyone who might be a culprit or if I had any connections to Iraq or Jamaica. No, I said. This is the first I'm hearing about any of this and it's a lot to take in. He asked if I'd ever used a public or unsecured Wi-Fi. I said, I don't know, maybe. I said I used the airport Wi-Fi recently. Ah, he said, well, that's unfortunate. That's how many of these breaches start. I was embarrassed. Like I left my fly unzipped. How could I have been so thoughtless? But also, didn't everyone use airport Wi-Fi? Okay, first of all, I will say this. Anytime you are using internet outside of your home network, which should be a protected network, like you should need a password to get into it, have a VPN on.
Mm-hmm.
Get a VPN. Get a VPN. It makes it a lot harder for anyone to be able to see anything that you're doing. It's a security feature. When my fella and I went to Vegas to go see Johnny, I had a VPN on the entire time. The entire time. And that made it really difficult for me to access some stuff. It meant things took longer or whatever, but it was the best thing that I could do. So I had it on my laptop, I had it on my phone, my husband's phone. We did not connect to anything unless the VPN was on. Period. And I'm really glad we did. So I'd highly recommend that. And there's lots of companies that provide it. Like, yeah, King Bob just said like Surfshark. There's NordVPN. Norton Antivirus has their own. Like, there's tons of companies you can look at with lots of different plans that cost different amounts. But if you're traveling a lot, like if you're going in places like that a lot, like, definitely look into that. I would highly recommend that. Calvin told me to listen carefully. The first thing you must do is not tell anyone what is going on. Everyone around you is a suspect. Oh my gosh. Stop.
Isolation.
Stop. If anyone ever tells you to do that, you need to seriously think to yourself, who benefits the most from me keeping my mouth shut? And why would they benefit? What is the reason? Because literally, I would understand if he would say, don't speak to anyone in your personal life, but call your lawyer. Get your lawyer. But you're not saying that. You're saying nobody. Like, I almost laughed. I told him I was quite sure that my husband, who works for an affordable housing nonprofit and makes meticulous spreadsheets for our childcare expenses, was not a secret substance smuggler. I believe you, but even so, your communications are probably under surveillance, Calvin said. You cannot talk to him about this. I quickly deleted the text messages I had sent to my husband a few minutes earlier. As if he was a sophisticated criminal, he wouldn't have probably seen that and already got the receipts of it. Like, you've already tipped him off.
Yeah. There's
if we're assuming this guy is like, super spy over here.
We'll get back to this part.
Okay.
Later.
Okay. The sophisticated criminals, these are sophisticated criminals with a lot of money at stake, he continued. You should assume you are in danger and being watched. You cannot take any chances. So call the cops and call your lawyer. Oh my gosh. I feel suspended between two worlds, the one that I knew and the one this man was describing. If I had nothing to do with any of these allegations, how could they truly affect me? How much could they truly affect me? I thought of this old American Life episode about a woman whose social security card was stolen. No matter how many times she closed her bank account and opened new ones, her identity theft kept draining them. destroying her credit and her sanity. It turned out to be her boyfriend. I remembered another story about a man who got stuck on the no-fly list after his personal information was used by a T group. It dawned on me that being connected to major federal offenses, even falsely, could really mess up my life. I mean, yeah, but there's also things you could do about your credit if that happens to you. Like, there's ways that you could like have alerts put on and stuff like that and build a case if something like that ever happened.
And as Houston just said, don't trust anyone except the guy who a cold caller transferred you to.
Yeah, exactly. And Lulu's mom, banks are insured for crimes just like this. And that's the thing. It becomes an insurance issue. And you can buy your own personal insurance for that if you so choose as well. Gosh. Calvin wanted to know how much money I had in my bank accounts. I told him I had 2 checking and savings with a combined balance of a little over 80,000. Why are you telling him this? Why would you say that to him? If he's really who he says he is, he could probably find out without you saying anything. As a freelancer in a volatile industry, I keep a sizable emergency fund, and I also set aside cash to pay for my taxes at the end of the year since there aren't any withheld from my paychecks. His voice took a more urgent tone. You must have worked very hard to save all that money, he said. Do not share your bank account information with anyone. I am going to help you keep your money safe.
Liar.
Oh my gosh. He said he would transfer me to his colleague at the CIA. Oh my gosh. Who was the lead investigator on my case and gave me a 9-digit case number for my records. I Googled this number, nothing. And he said the CIA agent would tell me what to do next, and he wished me luck. Call a lawyer.
No, hang up on the Amazon person.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, yeah, hang up on the Amazon person. And if you really think could be possibly any truth to any of this, call your lawyer. Because you don't want to do anything that could incriminate you. Call your lawyer.
Also, last time I checked, CIA doesn't cover these kind of things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, wouldn't that more be FBI?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to victim blame this lady, but come on. Red flags. This is just a red shag carpet everywhere. All over this.
Are we doing Running of the Bulls?
Like, what is happening? Exactly. Thank you, General Scott. I have your social security number, your address, your family info. I know everything about you, but how much money do you have in your bank accounts? Okay. He said the CIA agent would tell me what to do next, and he wished me luck. Okay. If it was a scam, I couldn't see the angle. Oh, you couldn't?
I think it's called $50,000.
It had occurred to me that the whole story might be made up or an elaborate mistake, but no one had asked me for money or told me to buy crypto. Oh, stop it. They'd only encouraged me not to share my banking information. Okay, can I say something right now as someone that has worked with crypto? Straight up. The number one currency that is used for scams, according to the United Nations across the entire planet, is the United States dollar. As long as there has been currency, there has been crime, and there will continue to be. Do not make any investment decisions without speaking to a financial advisor. One that you know is an actual financial advisor. Make a plan, get wise counsel, and go from there. Don't invest in something just because somebody tells you to. And it doesn't matter if it's in crypto or US dollar or yen or whatever. You know what I'm saying, producer sister? I just hate that. I hate that so much. Like, it's just like, stop. Okay. They'd only encourage me to share my banking information. So all of those things could happen after you did that.
But they also encouraged you or told you, do not tell anyone.
Exactly. can't. They hadn't asked for my personal details. No, they already knew them. I hadn't been told to click on anything. No, but you went from an Amazon conversation to an FTC to the CIA. None of this sounded weird to you? Why are the cops not at your house? I can't. Still, I had not seen a shred of evidence. I checked my bank account, credit cards, credit score, and nothing looked out of the ordinary. I knew I should probably talk to a lawyer or maybe the police. Yes! Though I was doubtful that they would help. What was I going to say? My identity was stolen and I think somehow I'm in danger? Yeah, that somebody called you, had personal information on you, including your social security number, and said that you were in danger. And you're scared.
There's also one other little thing in there. She checked her credit score.
Yeah.
Nothing looked out of ordinary.
So how could someone have opened up a bank account in your name with all of this money being taken out if it hadn't affected your credit score?
Whenever you do stuff like that, your credit score gets checked.
Oh my gosh.
There's a law, there's a log saying who has run a credit check on you. If there's no unusual activity, how did someone get all of those bank accounts, buy all of those vehicles?
Oh my gosh. I had no proof. I was annoyed that my workday had been hijacked. It was 2 p.m., and I'd already pushed back one deadline and postponed 2 work calls. I had to get myself out of this. The next man who got on the line had a deeper voice and a slight British accent, flecked with something I couldn't identify. He told me his name was Michael Serrano and that he worked for the CIA on cases involving the FTC. He gave me his badge number. I'm going to need more than that. I said, I have no reason to believe any of what you were saying is real. I completely understand, he said calmly. So stop talking to him and call a lawyer. The lawyer will call the cops if they think it's necessary. I can't. He told me to go to the FTC homepage and look up the main phone number. Now hang up the phone and I will call you from that number right now. Why can't you call him? The FTC, I did as he said. The FTC number flashed on my screen and I picked up. How do I know you're not just spoofing this? Okay. People can make it look like when they call you that they're calling from a number they're not calling from. Unfortunately, that's a thing. Best thing you can do is hang up, call that number yourself, and confirm that it actually is them. It's unfortunate and it's annoying, but it is what it is. It's a government number, he said, almost indignant. It cannot be spoofed. Oh, of course, because there's like a difference in that. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
I wasn't so sure if this was true and I tried Googling it, but Michael was already on to his next point. He told me that the call was being recorded, so I put him on speaker and began recording on my end too. He wanted to know if I had told anyone what was going on. I admitted that I had texted my husband. You must reassure him that everything is fine, Michael said. In cases like this, we have to investigate your spouse as well. And the less he knows, the less he's implicated. From now on, you have to follow protocol if you want us to help you, which is why you call your lawyer. Oh my gosh. I am actually baffled. General Scott, you're right. This whole thing has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Like, what are we even looking at? Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll also give you this little tidbit of knowledge that she doesn't say, I think, until later. I've read the article through a couple times, so it's getting a little mushy in my head what's where. Her brother and best friend are both lawyers.
Yeah, she said that at the beginning.
Yes.
Call your brother. Or maybe like call your brother's firm, because I don't know if your brother can actually represent you. Can your blood represent you?
I would think it's a conflict.
Yeah.
But at this point, at least get legal advice or he can refer you to someone.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I should lie to my husband, I said, feeling stupid. You're being investigated for major federal crimes. By keeping your husband out of this, you are protecting him. He then repeated the point that Calvin had made about my phone and computer being hacked and monitored by the criminals who had stolen my identity. Yet, you didn't know what was in her bank accounts. Okay. By that point, my husband had sent me a series of concerned texts. Don't worry, it'll be okay. I wrote back. It felt gross to imagine a third party reading along. Michael showed me this with the same stories Calvin had. They were consistent. The car on the Texas border, the property in New Mexico, the substances, the bank accounts, and he asked if I had shared my residence with anyone besides my husband and my son. Then he asked more questions about my family members, including my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law. He knew their names and where they lived, and I told them they had nothing to do with this. In fact, I was now sure I wanted to consult a lawyer. My brain actually really hurts. Oh my gosh. If you talk to an attorney, I cannot help you anymore. There is no agency that will say that to you because
That is your right as a citizen.
in the United States, you have the constitutional right to an attorney. That's why literally when you are arrested and you are read your Miranda rights and they then inform you of what rights you have, you have the right to remain silent because anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed for you. Even when you lose a lot of your rights as an American, you do not lose the right to an attorney. No one can take that right away from you. Ever. And it's very similar in most nations. Okay? Just across the board. You will be considered non-cooperative. Your home will be raided. Your assets will be seized. You may be arrested. It's your choice. I mean, I would assume you would be arrested if your house is going to be raided and your assets will be seized. That's okay. They can't just come in for funsies and do that.
No.
This seems ludicrous. I pictured officers tramping in, taking my laptop, going through our bookshelves, questioning our neighbors, scaring my son. It was a non-starter. Can I just come to your office and sort this out in person? I said, it's getting late and I need to take my son trick-or-treating soon. My office is in Langley, he said. We don't have enough time. We need to act immediately. I'm going to talk you through the process. It's going to sound crazy, but we must follow protocol if we're going to catch the people behind this. This is ridiculous. He explained that the CIA would need to freeze all of the assets in my name, including my actual bank accounts. In the eyes of the law, there would be no difference between the real and fraudulent ones, he said. They would also deactivate my compromised social security number and get me a new one. Then, by monitoring any activity under my old social security number and accounts, they would be able to catch the criminal who was using my identity, and I would get my life back. But until then, I would need to use only cash for my day-to-day expenses. It was far-fetched, ridiculous, but also not completely out of the realm of possibility. Do I have any other options? I asked. Unfortunately, no, he said. You must follow my directions very carefully. We do not have much time. This all started from an Amazon phone call.
And again, you are guilty enough that we're going to come and arrest you, but we don't think you did it. We think there's these identity theft.
This makes no sense. None. He asked me how much cash I thought I would need to support myself for a year if necessary. My assets could be frozen for up to 2 years. If the investigation dragged on, he added, there could be a trial. I might need to testify. These things take time. I don't know. 50,000, I said. I wondered how I would receive paychecks without a bank account. Would I have to take the time off from work? I did some mental calculations of how much my husband could float us and for how long. Okay, he said, you need to go to the bank and get that cash out now. You cannot tell them what it is for. In one of my last cases, the identity theft was someone who worked at the bank. Of course it was. It's convenient. Okay, he said, you need to go to the... Oh, sorry. Michael told me to keep the phone on speaker so we would remain in contact. It's important that I monitor where this money goes from now on. Remember, all of your assets are part of this investigation, he said. Then he told me that one of his colleagues would meet me at my apartment at 5 p.m. to guide me through the next steps. This is absolutely bizarre. You can't send a complete stranger to my home, I said, my voice rising. My 2-year-old son will be here. Let me worry about that, he said. It's my job. But if you don't cooperate, I cannot keep you safe. It's your choice. What is it, the mafia?
Kind of sounds like it.
Oh my gosh. Call the cops. That's when you call the cops and go, there is someone who is going to come to my home. This is insane. It's impossible to explain why I accepted this logic, but I hadn't been giving marching orders and a deadline. But I had been giving marching orders at a deadline. My son would be home soon, and I had to fix this mess. I put on sneakers in case I needed to run. I brought a backpack for the cash. I felt both terrified and absurd. I really hate to say this, but if you're like, your biggest fear right now is you need to take your son trick-or-treating, I have so many questions. This is absolutely insane. It was jarring to see trick-or-treaters in my Brooklyn neighborhood, people going about their lives. The air was crisp, and the dead leaves swirled on the ground. I was on high alert for anyone who might be following me. At one point, a man in sunglasses and a hoodie trailed me for a few blocks. At Michael's suggestion, I ducked into a parking garage until he passed.
If it's real, I think that was a plant.
Quite possibly. When I reached the bank, I told the guard I needed to make a large cash withdrawal, and she sent me upstairs. Michael was on his speakerphone in my pocket. I asked the teller for $50,000. The woman behind the thick glass raised her eyebrows, disappeared into the back room, and came back with a large metal box of $100 bills and counted them all out with a machine. Then she pushed the stack of bills through the slot with a sheet of paper warning me against scams. I thanked her and left.
This has been one of the big points that people are bringing up.
Yep, they don't do that.
No. You can't just walk into a bank and get 50 grand in cash.
No, you can't. You literally can't. And I mean, we've done large transfers.
Yes, but it's not real money. It's not physical money.
It's not the cash. It's in the things, and then there's it's tracked to where it's going and all that stuff. And oh my gosh.
I can't remember what agency it is, but at least here, if you withdraw more than $10,000, I believe it is, they have to file a report.
Yeah.
And track it. You can go in and get large amounts of money in things like a money order or whatnot, because that's quite common for things like a real estate purchase.
Yeah.
That is not a big deal. And they're not as weary about it, because when you go in and say, hi, I'm like a money order for 100 grand, whatever, and they say, who do we make it out to? And you say Remax.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Right?
Toyota. Right?
Yeah.
Like
you've got, they understand what you're doing very quickly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. One thing I want to just clarify here, because please forgive the ignorance of a Canadian. Eliza just said it was only the last 4 digits of her social. Is that normal? Like, is it a lot of the time for numbers for us that like the more confidential numbers are actually the last digits? Or the middle digits and not the first digits and the last digits? So is that like something that's easy to find out essentially? And would it be something that she would be able to figure out where this woman lived because of freedom of information and like registered in a phone book type thing?
Hold on.
I have questions.
I don't know if I have it here or not. I'm just looking.
Okay, yeah, Jackie Alonso just said, oh, hang on. Sorry. Jackie, thank you for your comment. Jalissa just said, yes, the last 4 digits are the only thing they ask. Katie said that we give the last 4 digits in the US. The last 4 digits is always what they ask. Okay, so then they didn't have her whole number.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I've got paperwork from the government.
Okay.
And the last 4 digits of your SIN number are visible. The beginning is not.
Okay. All right.
And to Meg, I'm guessing, I know you said it's a cashier's check. In Canada, I guess we call it a money order.
Yeah. I mean, you can get a certified check.
Yeah, you can get a certified check or a money order.
Yeah. I had to pay for my wedding venue with a certified check. They would not accept it unless it was, period. And I was, okay.
It's to cover their own butt.
Yeah, I know, but I offered them cash as well. Like, our wedding wasn't that big, guys, okay?
I would say from working in the other end in accounting and having cash come in, I would always take a certified check or a money order over cash.
Okay.
Because it is the easiest way to money launder. And you're also putting an additional stress pressure on your employees that they now have to handle the cash and get it to the bank.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
lot easier when it's just a money order or a certified check. It is what it is. You can't start arguing over, oh, there's $100 missing
Okay.
or $20.
Fair enough. Okay. So Michael was bursting with praise. You did a great job, he said. I have to go for a moment to see the details of your case. Oh, you seem pretty versed in it to begin with. I'm going to have to speak to my colleague if you have any questions. I'm going to have you speak to my colleague if you have any questions. He puts a woman on the line. She was younger, with an accent I couldn't identify. She told me to go home and await further instructions. As I walked back to my apartment, something jolted me out of my trance and I became furious. No government agency would ever establish this protocol. It was preposterous. I needed to speak with Michael. I told the woman on the phone. He got on right away. I don't even believe that you're a CIA agent, I said. What you're asking me to do is completely unreasonable. He sighed. I'm sending you a photo of my badge right now. I don't know what else to tell you. You can trust me and I will help you. Or you can hang up and put yourself and your family in danger. Do you really want to risk that with a young child? I can't. Oh my gosh. I waited for a stoplight at a busy intersection. I could see my apartment window from where I stood. My son was playing inside with a neighbor's daughter and their nanny. A picture of Michael's badge appeared on my phone. There was no way of verifying it. It could have easily been photoshopped. I don't trust you at all, I said to Michael, but it doesn't seem I have any other choice. Text your husband to call the cops. If you don't believe this anymore, why? Oh. When I got home, Michael told me to get a box, put cash in it, take a picture of it, then tape it shut. I found a floral printed shoebox that had once contained a pair of slippers I bought for myself, a frivolous purchase that now seemed mortifying. Michael told me to label it with my name, the case number, my address, and a locker number he read to me, and my signature. Then he directed me to take another picture of the labeled box and text it to him. Oh my gosh. My colleague will be there soon. He's an undercover CIA agent, and he will secure the money for you, he said. What exactly would that entail? I asked. Tonight, we will close down your social security number. You will lose access to your bank accounts, he explained. Tomorrow, you'll need to go to the social security office and get a new social security number. We'll secure this money for you in a government locker and hand deliver a treasury check for the same amount. You can cash the check and use it for your expenses until the investigation is over. Why can't I just use the cash? I asked. Why do you have to take it and give me a check? Yeah.
Good question.
Why couldn't you just transfer it to your husband? Does he have a bank account separate from you? I can't. Oh, because all of your assets under your current identity are part of the investigation. He said, you are being charged with money laundering. If we secure this cash, then issue you the government check under your new social security number, that would be considered clean money. Except if you know that she's not a part of this, why is she on the hook for this? This makes no sense.
And the thing is, he's accusing her and saying that there's money laundering going on. Money laundering is when you obtain funds illegally.
Mm-hmm.
You just went and got them out of your account from a bank.
Money that you earned through your job.
Like, that doesn't make sense. That's not money laundering.
This is bizarre. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm with people going, how is this true? You know this stuff if you're a financial advisor. You know this stuff if you're not a financial advisor a lot of the time. This is wild. I need to see your colleague's badge. I said, I'm not going to give $50,000 of my money to someone I don't know. Undercover agents don't carry badges?
I don't have proofs, but I am more inclined to believe that.
I mean, I think they get something.
But if their cover was ever blown and they did a search, like, I could kind of believe that one.
It sounds sketchy to me. He said, as if I'd asked the CIA to bring me a Happy Meal. They're undercover. Remember, you're probably being watched. Criminals cannot know a CIA agent is there. Except if you're being monitored, you're being, everything's being, like, you're being bugged and everything else. How would they not know you're having this conversation?
They would.
Yeah, they would. they would know a CIA undercover agent was coming to your house. This makes no sense. Oh, in a twisted way, this made some amount of sense to me. You're the only one. Or maybe I had lost my grip on reality so completely that I was willing to resign myself to this new version of it. Most important, I didn't know what else to do. Even if Michael wasn't working for the CIA, which struck me as more and more likely, he was sending a man to our address. I felt a sickening dread that he might ask to come inside. If giving him money would make him go away, I was ready to do it. I'd been on the phone for nearly 5 hours. I wanted to take my son trick-or-treating. I was exhausted.
Trick-or-treating's the least of your concerns.
Take your kid candy shopping later, okay? Like, mommy's trying to not go to prison right now. Not top priority. The problem is I read that and it literally sounds like I was willing to give up $50,000 because I wanted to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading.
I mean, it's bigger than that, but yeah,
But-
it's kind of what she's
Yeah.
watered it down to.
Oh my gosh. I honestly, if this had happened to me, what makes me think that I would want to go out in public with my
Yeah.
child when I'm being followed
You're being watched.
in the dark? No one's going anywhere. Oh my gosh. Michael seemed to sense that I was flagging and asked if I'd had lunch. I hadn't. He told me to eat something but to keep him on the line. His agent was on the way to my address but running late. You can meet him outside if that would make you more comfortable, Michael said, and I felt relieved. While I gnawed on a granola bar on my desk, he got chatty and asked about my job. I told him I was going to Washington, D.C. later that week. Oh, great. You could come to my office in Langley, he said. Where are you staying? Stop telling people where you are. Stop. Stop. Oh my gosh. I can't. Okay. A little after 6 p.m., Michael told me to go downstairs. His colleague was arriving. My husband had just come home from work and was reading to our son. What is going on? Is everything okay? He asked as I put my coat on. I motioned to the phone and shushed him. Then I whispered, I have to go downstairs and meet the guy who's helping with the identity theft case. I'll explain more later. He frowned and silently mouthed, what? I told him I had to go. I met the SUV at the curb and I put the money in the back seat. It was 6:06 p.m. Even if I tried to see who was driving, the windows were tinted and it was dusk. He maybe wore a baseball cap. When I turned around, I couldn't see the backlit faces of my husband and my son. I could see the backlit faces of my husband and my son watching from our apartment, 9 stories above. As I walked back inside, Michael texted me a photo of the treasury check he made out to me for $50,000 and told me a hard copy would be hand-delivered to me in the morning. He was working on setting up an appointment with the Social Security office. You will receive a confirmation text shortly. Stay on the line until you do. I felt oddly comforted by this. An appointment would give me something legitimate, an actual connection to a government agency. Oh my gosh.
Maybe you should have got that before
My
you gave
brain.
them $50,000.
I took my son trick-or-treating. Oh, so that's fine. So you were terrified walking to the bank with somebody following you. I can't. I'm sorry. My phone on speaker in my pocket. I felt numb, almost in a fugue state. I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry. Smiling and chatting with my neighbors and their kids. At one point, I checked to see if Michael was still there. His female colleague answered and said he'd be back soon. Then when we got back home, I checked again. The line was dead. I panicked. I called back. The woman answered, Michael is busy. He'll call you in the morning. I was confused. Did this mean I didn't have a social security number anymore? I pictured myself floating, identityless. So I have an appointment at the Social Security office, I asked. Michael will call you tomorrow, she repeated. He hasn't been able to secure your appointment yet. The Social Security office is closed now. I went into the bedroom and shut the door, feeling my face grow hot. I had the physical sensation of scales falling from my eyes. The room shimmered around me. Spots raining from the ceiling. I saw my whole day peel away, the layers of the onion, Michael, the FTC, the Amazon call, revealing my real life, raw and exposed at the center. OMG, I said, my hands tingling. You are lying to me. Michael was lying. You took my money and I'm never getting it back. That wasn't true, the woman said. She understood that I was upset. She was sorry. Everything would be fine. You're an effing liar, I hissed, and I hung up. Choking through sobs, I told my husband what had happened. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Incredulous. I would have stopped you. That I've been trying to protect him suddenly seemed so idiotic I couldn't even say it out loud. Our son looked up, confused. Mama's sad, he announced, clinging to my legs. We put him to bed, and I called my parents and my brother. At their urging, I called 911. Around 10:30 p.m., 3 police officers came over and took my statement. I struggled to recount what I'd done. It seemed like a bad dream. I felt like a fool. No government agency will ever ask you for money, one cop informed me, as if I'd never heard it before. I wanted to scream. I know. Why are you mad at him? Why are you mad at the cop? Instead, I said it didn't really feel like he was asking. The police told me not to worry. The scammers wouldn't be back. They got what they wanted, another officer said. As though it would reassure me, I gave them the photos and the recordings I had. They promised to check traffic cameras for the car that had taken the money. When I woke up the next morning, a few seconds passed before I remembered the previous day. I was my old self in my old bed, milky dawn light on the walls. Then it all came crashing back. The fresh humiliation I curled into the fetal position. I felt violated and unreliable. I couldn't trust myself. Were my tendencies towards people-pleasing, rule-following, and conflict aversion far worse than I'd ever thought, even pathological? I imagined other people's reactions. She's always been a little careless. She seems unhinged. I considered keeping the whole thing a secret. I worried it would harm my professional reputation. I still do. Yet here I am, writing a big article about it. Oh my gosh. In the days that followed, I kept revisiting the fake world of that afternoon, slipping through the portal into an alternate life. I would get paranoid that someone was reading my texts, watching me as I took my son to school, or using my social security number to wire money and rent cars. It was a relief that I wasn't actually in trouble with the law, but then again, I'd lost $50,000 and I wasn't getting it back. I checked my accounts and my credit cards obsessively. I called the bank. They gave me instructions to freeze my credit. There you go. File reports with the FBI and the FTC, and to run antivirus software on my laptop to check for malware, which I did. I cried a lot. My husband felt helpless. He still doesn't like to talk about it. Instead, he researched new locks for our doors and looked into security cameras, and one night I shook him awake, convinced that someone was trying to break in. It's only the wind, he said. We're safe. $50,000 is a lot of money. It took me years to save, stashing away a few thousand every time I got paid for a big project. Part of it was money I had received from my grandfather, an inheritance that he took great pains to set up for his grandchild before his death. Sometimes I imagine how I would have spent it if I had to get rid of it in a day. I could have paid for over a year's worth of childcare up front. I could have put it towards the master's degree I've always wanted. I could have housed multiple families for months. Perhaps inadvertently I am. I occasionally wonder what the scammers did with it. You're not housing people. Really?
Yeah.
What is that sentence? I'm not trying to be judgy, guys, but
That's not where it went.
they're not doing good things with the money. Can't. Because I had set it aside for emergencies and taxes, it was money that I tried to pretend I didn't have. It wasn't for spending. Initially, I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to afford my taxes this year, but then my accountant told me I could write off losses due to theft. So from a financial standpoint, I'd survive, as long as I don't have another emergency, a real one, anytime soon. When I told my friends what had happened, it seemed like everyone had a horror story. One friend's dad, a criminal defense attorney, had been scammed out of $1.2 million. What? Okay. Another person I know, a real estate developer, was duped into wiring $450,000 to someone posing as one of his contractors. Someone else knew a Wall Street executive who had been conned into draining her 401k to some guy she met at a bar. Well, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. I felt a guilty sense of consolation whenever I heard about a scam involving someone I respected. If this could happen to them, maybe I wasn't such a moron. As a journalist, it's my instinct to research and talk to experts, so I dove into books and podcasts about scams, desperate to make sense of my own. I had known that fraud was on the rise, but I was shocked to learn the numbers. Financial losses ballooned by more than 30% in 2022. I read that self-laceration is typical. Half the victims blame themselves for being gullible, and most experience a serious anxiety, depression, or other stress-related health problem afterwards. I had heard about victim support groups. I went to therapy. When I discovered that Katie Gatti Tassin, a personal finance expert who writes the popular Money with Katie newsletter, lost $8,000 5 years ago to a grandmotherly sounding woman pretending to call from Tassin's credit union, I called her to ask her how she coped. Everyone was so patronizing, she told me. The response was basically, it's your fault that this happened. If I had to pinpoint the moment that made me think my scammers were legitimate, it was probably when they read me my social security number. Now, I know that all kind of personal information, your email address, your kids' names, your birthdays, even your pets' names are commonly sold on the dark web. Of course, these scammers could also have learned about my son from a 30-second perusal of my Instagram feed. But did they read the whole social security number?
I believe it said only the last 4.
Yeah.
So, no, sweetie.
Okay. It was my brother, the lawyer, who pointed out what I had experienced sounded a lot like a coerced confession. I'd read enough transcripts of bad interrogations in law school to understand that anyone can be convinced that if they have a very narrow set of terrible options, he said. When I posed this theory to Saul Casson, a psychology professor at the College of Criminal Justice who studies coerced confessions, he agreed. If someone is trying to get you to be compliant, they'll do it incrementally in a series of small steps that will take you farther and farther and farther from what you know to be true, he said. It's not about breaking the will. It's about altering the sense of reality. It's gaslighting you. And when you haven't done anything wrong, the risk of cooperating feels minimal, he added. An innocent person thinks that everything will get sorted out. It mattered that I was kept on the phone for so long. People start to break down cognitively after a few hours of interrogation. At that point, they're not thinking straight. They feel like they need to put an end to the situation at all costs. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's part of why they didn't want her to hang up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why. And
you have to stay on the call because then you'll start thinking rationally.
Yeah. You'll start breathing again. I wondered how often scammers are caught and about the guy who'd driven the car to my apartment. But when I asked experts, they doubted he'd be a meaningful lead. One pointed out that he might have been a courier who was told to come pick up a box. I mean, based on my research with that, a lot of them know they're not doing something good, but they get a cut.
Yeah. They don't exactly know what they're doing.
But they know they're going to get a percentage of whatever is in that shoebox. And that's why they're doing it. I mean, if you can make $5,000 in an afternoon by driving by somebody's house, opening up your trunk, getting them to put something in and driving away, there's a lot of people who will do that. And they morals to the wind. It doesn't matter to them. Right? Or they get convinced that what they're doing, is a good thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I still don't believe what happened to me could happen to anyone. I'm starting to realize that I'm not uniquely fallible. Several friends felt strongly that if scammers hadn't mentioned my son, I never would have fallen for this. They're right, that I'd be willing to do or pay anything to protect him. Either way, I have to accept that someone waged psychological warfare on me, and I lost. For now, I just don't answer my phone. Okay? I mean, honestly, that's not a... I don't really answer phone calls anymore from people that I don't know at all. And half the time, people that know me text me.
Yeah.
Because scam phone calls are ridiculous, right? They're all the time, and I just don't have time for it, and I don't care, right? I ignore it. Okay.
So, do you think it's real?
No, I don't. I think there's parts of that are so bizarre, particularly the actual bank experience. I think about the hoops I've had to go through to transfer money into investments.
Yep.
And I mean, not that much.
No.
But them being like, are you sure? Are you sure? Then them having to background check where I'm sending it to. Blah, blah, blah. Having to sit. Scott. Okay, here's our lol break. Here's our relaxing tone. This all started because the scammers had
insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Woo.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah. So as Houston said, banks have a time period of waiting to pull high dollars. You usually have to go in order the cash.
Mhm.
Some of the other points I saw online, which I agree with. Why would the scammers specifically target someone who writes a financial column?
Yeah,
Have you run out of other potential victims?
that sounds dumb.
That just doesn't make any sense.
That sounds dumb.
Amazon does not call people over $8,000 purchases. That's not a thing. No. Law enforcement doesn't tell you over the phone that they have an arrest warrant for you.
They just come to your house because literally, logically, if they tell you there is a warrant out for your arrest, there are certainly people, their first instinct will be to run.
The other conversation I saw, and the more I think about it, it just resonates with me. How is her marriage okay? You literally did all of this without telling your husband. Going back to the fact that you thought he could be involved. You didn't tell him. Because the scammers told you they were investigating your family.
Investigating, yeah.
Well, that means you believe them enough and you have so little trust in your spouse that you think he could have done this.
I just don't understand why. I feel like, okay, here's kind of the way that I think. If I found out there was a warrant for my arrest, I wouldn't be thinking about going trick-or-treating.
No.
I would be immediately calling a lawyer and saying, do I go turn myself in now? What do we do? You know? Like, how do I just stay above board in this as much as possible? And if they know that it's identity theft, why am I being arrested?
Yeah. You can't have it both ways.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Marion, the biggest red flag for this is being real is still going trick-or-treating.
You're so scared that someone's following you and people are watching you, but yeah, we're just going to walk out in broad daylight with my 2-year-old.
I can't. I actually do not have... I've lost my ability to can.
So, kind of to what Purple Rose Gamer said, I think she ran out of ideas for her column and came up with this BS story. This has now led people down the road of, well, if this didn't happen, what did?
Yeah.
And if she did, in fact, lose $50,000, where did it go?
Well, I mean, if she did lose $50,000, it's gone.
No, but was this a cover-up for the fact that she lost $50,000?
Oh.
There it is. Did she have an affair? Did she have a gambling addiction? These kind of things. It would be easier to prove yay or nay whether or not she lost 50 grand. And if so, what happened? And the thing is that I've seen is it worse to tell your husband that I thought you might have been involved, so I couldn't tell you, rather than I had an affair or I gambled it away or whatever else it may be?
That's insane. Oh my gosh, Kyle, what? Kyle.
I'm so sorry.
Really? Like, I believe you. Really? That's diabolical. That's absolutely diabolical. Or, yeah, my fella. Yeah, or is she after the tax break? I mean,
Yeah.
has there been any, like, follow-up of investigation on this?
Not to my knowledge. It only came out like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, there's still, like, if the cops have opened it as an investigation, there should be some proof of it and freedom of information.
Yeah.
Because my question would be, can you prove at this point that the cops came? Did you report this as a crime? Because if that logic, if she did do this, like, she tried to find an out, did she report a false crime?
I'm guessing there is a police report.
Yeah.
My bigger question would be, where is the financial proof? Where's the security footage of her getting that money out at the bank on that day? Is that true? Because my guess is now the IRS very well may be investigating this because she has claimed this $50,000 loss on her taxes, or will be. It's tax season right now. But in turn, she's gotten this viral article.
Yep.
She's been on CNN, Good Morning America, Inside Edition.
Yep.
She's gotten goodness knows how many clicks on this article. She's making bank in other ways from it.
This is absolutely.
And as others have said, is she desperate enough to write a story?
I mean, the thing is, I like to think that people wouldn't be that desperate, but I feel like since I've started doing things on the internet, I always think I've heard everything. Like, that is the most wild thing I've ever heard. Nothing is going to beat that. And then I hear something else, and I'm like, how did it just get weirder? And it just keeps going. And I feel like this might be one of those weirder situations. And I don't want to think badly of the woman, but, like, this doesn't make sense.
And that's the problem, is there's so many inconsistencies that you would think, especially as someone who claims to be financially literate.
Yeah.
Are the alarm bells not going off in your head?
How do you still have a job? As someone writing a financial column?
Why would anyone take financial advice from you?
Guys, I got nothing. I can't. That is wild. That is actually wild. My arm is, like, kind of shaking. Like, it's just like my brain. I want there to be an investigation into this.
I wouldn't be surprised now if at least her file's being flagged by the IRS.
Yeah.
They're going to have to give proof.
Yeah.
Big time.
Oh my
because
gosh. No.
Especially the part at the bank. Because the thing is, too, she gives a lot of detail about what happened at various stages of this.
Mm-hmm.
But withdrawing the money at the bank is like one paragraph.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, sorry, guys, give me 1 second. Linda, if you can just check Telegram for 1 second. Okay. We are going to be raiding over to Linda's new video. So we're just getting that set up so that you guys can join the premiere when we wrap up in a few minutes of the stream, because we've been going for a bit, and we're going to go over there. I will say, though, if you guys can please try to remember me to reload, leave a comment on this page. It really does help with the algorithm for me. It does make a big difference. And, head over and support Linda. I will also spam the link for the video in the chat.
Let us know in your comment whether or not you think it's real.
Yeah. Honestly, let me know your theories because I have questions. I am perplexed. I am perplexed. Okay, perfect. Okay. That was wild.
What you think it is, or whether or not you think it's real, and why.
I don't think it's real. I don't. I think this needs to be investigated. And it's like, I always think to myself, like, but who would lie about this? And then I remembered that balloon boy happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, people lie. People lie.
Jesse Smollett's. That whole
Oh, that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no. People lie. People lie, unfortunately. It's really sad. But this is wild. I also don't understand her obsession with being like, I have to trick or treat with my son.
Yeah.
That to me is just the strangest part of this whole thing.
Like, why would you want him out of the house?
No.
If you honestly think people are after you and watching you,
yeah,
why would you want him out in the open? It just doesn't make sense.
You know what, for the record, Your Honor, I could believe that. I think it's someone else's story, and she took it to cover something up. She saw a juicy story. She could rewrite, make it into something, find a way to get a tax break. Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Oh my gosh. Lula's mom, didn't AH steal her therapist story? I think it was her assistant's, actually. The one, I think she spat at her or something like that. She testified in the trial. It was really messed up. Really, really messed up. Oh, wow.
Yep.
There
we go.
There we go. That was one heck of a what the what. Can I get some hearts in the chat for producer sister? Thank you so much for getting that all together for us. My mind is blown. And I actually kind of want to follow this now. And be like, what the heck happened? You know what? I'll do this for the next few minutes. At 5:20, we're EST, we're gonna go over. So that's in 5 minutes. So I'll just do this little poll here. Why not? Do you think the story is true? Yes or no? And we'll see where we're all sitting. Here we go. Off it goes. Where overwhelmingly people do not believe this is true, for the most part. Yeah. Katie Artist, noth. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Oh, well, guys, I have to thank you all so much for all of the support you sent over. I think actually, too, Meg, I think you sent in a super chat here with the eyeballs. Is that two people hugging and eyeballs? Or no, it's face palm. It's face palm. Yeah, face palm. Yep.
Which
accurate. Accurate response. Accurate response. Wow. Oh. Yeah, Lulu's mom. They had me until trick-or-treating became a priority. And I think that's the thing. I'm like, put my kid in witness protection. Where do I get my kid on a plane? Go somewhere. Like that's where my brain goes. Yeah. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. I don't know either. I do not know either. Oh gosh. All right. So, I do want to thank everybody for being here today. We had a great show today. I had a lot of fun. I so appreciate you all being here and spending the time with me while we ramble about weird things. And I am planning on doing a show on Wednesday. I'm also hoping to have another episode up of Eurovision coverage this week at some point. with those, they do take some time to edit because memes. Um, also, I've had to any of the Eurovision stuff that I upload, I have to do multiple drafts because I have to find out where we're at in the copyright. So sometimes that takes time, and that depends on how quickly I can get copyright scans and all those types of things. So I can't give you an exact date of when it's coming out, but it should come out this week, and I'll try to keep you guys posted on that if there's going to be any delays, and we'll just go through that and be ready for the semis in May, which I know is a long way away, but I'm sure it will be here before we know it.
Yep.
It's wild. It's wild. Alrighty. Well, I think we are just about there. I'm just trying to make sure that I do this right. I'm nervous about the raid. I don't want it to get messed up. Okay, so what I am going to do then is I am going to spam the chat with Linda's video. So if the raid does not work for you, here's how you can go. And you are also, I'll put it in a top comment too right away. So if for whatever reason you don't get transferred, leave a comment here, then head over there. We'll have fun. I'll be in the chat too. We'll just hang out. It's so good to see everybody. And it looks like the premiere is going to begin in 60 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the outro, and you guys will be directed over there. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Much love to all of you. We will see you all real soon.